Hi everyone, I'm Carrie from the Genie Shop, and today I want to talk about the vacuum law of prosperity. Have you ever noticed that when your closet is overflowing, you don't have room for anything new? The same thing can happen in our lives. There's a concept called the vacuum law of prosperity, and the basic idea is that nature doesn't like empty spaces. When we intentionally create space, we allow something new to come in. Bob Proctor wrote a book called You Were Born Rich, where he explains many concepts of manifesting your dream life, including a chapter on the vacuum law of prosperity. There's also a chapter called The Razor's Edge, which I discuss in another video, so you ought to check it out. So, the vacuum law of prosperity, let's talk about that. Sometimes we're holding on so tightly to things that no longer serve us that there's no room for something better. That might be clutter in our homes. It might be old beliefs about money. It might be relationships that drain our energy. It might be habits that keep us stuck. It might be simply hanging on to someday while never making room for today. Creating a vacuum isn't about loss. It's about making space. Think about your closet. When you donate clothes you no longer wear, suddenly there's room for things you truly love. Think about your schedule. When you stop saying yes to everything, you create space for opportunities that really matter. Think about your mind. When you let go of limiting beliefs like, I'm too old, I'm not smart enough, or it's too late for me, you create room for new possibilities. Maybe you've been hanging on to a job you hate just because it's familiar to you. Maybe you've kept boxes in the garage for 20 years that you'll never open or use. Maybe you're spending all your energy worrying about lack. What if, by cleaning out your closet, you unexpectedly find confidence to update your style? What if, by not saying yes to everything, you leave time in your schedule to work on something that's important to you, like a side hustle? What if you sell things you no longer use and invest that money in yourself? Sometimes before something new can come into our lives, we have to let go of something old. For me, it was starting an online business later in life, and that meant letting go of a lot of old stories. I had to create space for learning, for growth, and for believing that new opportunities could still come my way. I've learned that making room isn't always easy. I was working full time, but I managed to do it. But sometimes the very thing we're afraid to release is the thing that's preventing us from receiving something better. So here's a question for you. What are you holding on to that no longer serves you? And what might happen if you created a little space? Because maybe prosperity isn't something that we chase. Maybe it's something we make room for. Nature abhors a vacuum. When you intentionally make room for something better, life has a way of filling that space. The question is, what are you ready to let go of so that something new can enter? If you like videos with this type of content, please like and subscribe to my channel. Also, check out my online store on Shopify, the Genie Shop. The QR code is at the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching and supporting my channel. I really appreciate it.